The first, I would say, 12 hours felt like a dream, like just a blur of like emotions, and it was like the closest thing I felt to like getting drafted, like where I like low-key don't remember it. Like I have to use like videos to like remember what happened.
First off, how's New York treating you, man?
It's good. I like coming here. It's obviously like the fashion mecca of the world, so I do a lot of shopping here. Even yesterday I did a ton.
You mentioned the shopping. Where do you make sure every time you're in New York, where do you hit? What are the go-to spots?
I always try and go to like Essex, First Team Vintage is another good one. That's why I like coming here. There's a bunch of stores. It makes me actually have to think. Those are two big ones. And then obviously like all the designer stores and stuff I try and hit.
You're big in the vintage, right? Is that something you always do? Like, even during the season, do you have enough time to kind of hit certain shops?
Depending on the city, I will make time for certain ones. I think ATL has like, I think it's called like Good Times or something like that. Like, I always try to make sure I go there. And then LA is kind of like here where it's like you can just run into a vintage shop. But yeah, there's cities on the map that me and Shay will like kind of go through, and like this being my 4th year, like you kind of know where you want to go. So there's definitely some spots I'll always hit. And
the last thing about New York, I feel like every player has their MSG story, always talks about how it feels to play in the Garden. Do you have like that moment or that story tied to MSG yet?
I think my first year, honestly, it was I got to play against D Rose, like kind of on his way out when he was with New York. That was a really cool. I grew up a huge D Rose fan. It's crazy too, cause like he might have been the first Adidas shoes I was wearing back when he had the crazy lights or whatever. And my first time being at MSG, and like that was my matchup, was really cool.
And then it's not just New York. I know you've been traveling a bunch in the off season. I know you went to Shanghai. Is that right?
Shanghai,
How
yeah.
crazy was that? Was that your first time there?
It was, bro. It was a crazy experience. When I got there at 2 a.m., my flight had gotten delayed like 14 hours or something crazy. So I got in at like 1:30, 2 a.m. and there was like a crowd of people at the airport for me, which was dope. So the love I got out there was really cool. And yeah, it's just a really cool city, good food. The people are really cool. It's like fast paced, huge buildings. So hopefully I get to go out there longer. I was only out there for like 4 days.
Had your smile on the billboard too, right?
Yeah, the teeth. Yeah, my grills. Yeah, that was the coolest part of the whole thing. Something I wouldn't imagine being in a country I had never even been to up until that point, so to see myself on the thing was pretty cool.
Has it set into you that you're a champion yet? Have you gotten to sit with that and really realize what you and the team accomplished this past season?
It has its waves. It's kind of hard to like settle into it because it doesn't feel real, but like we're also getting to the point now where like as a player you're like always on to the next thing, and like I had hand surgery right after we won, so that was kind of like my hurdle. So I hadn't really got to like, I wouldn't say enjoy it as much, but like I didn't get to like sit there and like process it, because it was like now I'm on to like what am I gonna do with my hand, what does the season look like with that. So it's been cool. I've had my moments to where like you said, like the Shanghai experience, like doing that, them referring to me as a champion out there, like stuff like that makes it more real.
Can you take me back to that, I guess that first moment that it really hit for you, like damn, we just won the title?
The first like I would say like 12 hours felt like a dream, like just a blur of like emotions, and it was like the closest thing I felt to like getting drafted, like where I like low-key don't remember it. Like I have to use like videos to like remember what happened. And I remember the night after when I was with my family up until like, I don't even think we went to sleep, to be honest. Like we probably were up till like 7 a.m. until I had that Good Morning America interview that everybody saw how tired Shay looked. Like we were all up the whole night.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, give it up all for SGA. Getting up and joining us this morning.
That's the stuff I remember, but everything kind of in the middle after he won, I don't really recall unless people show me videos.
And then the next big moment, obviously, you got the parade. Take me back to that day. How was the parade day? Do you remember that a little bit more?
Oh, the parade was fun. I'll never forget the parade. From Wiggs doing his like speech and everybody going crazy in the arena. Bro, we like ran the whole parade. I wasn't even on the float. That was fun. So we ran the whole entire parade outside. It was like 100 degrees and the fans received us well. Being on the float with my parents was super dope. Hopefully we get to do that again because it was really fun. But like I said, I think the coolest thing was like we were on the float for maybe like 10 minutes when it started, and then we like ran the rest of probably ran like a couple miles just up and down the streets.
Is there like a single moment from that afternoon that like sticks out in your head?
Honestly, I'm pretty sure we put alcohol in some of the squirt guns, so I remember that. That was pretty funny. The fans loved that, so that was a pretty funny moment. I think another cool one was like we were like laying on the barricades, like taking photos with the fans, and for them to not even do anything wild but just like embrace us is really cool. It just shows like the relationship we have with our fans, because that's not like always safe to do, but we were like in the mix with the fans, so that was really cool.
Obviously the season's starting up in a couple weeks. Have you thought about, running it back with the team, that kind of new season mindset yet?
Definitely the new season mindset. Our team has done a really good job of like not focusing on like trying to run it back, because then you lose a little bit of like the fun part of the journey, which is like I wouldn't say the struggle, but it is like the struggle of January where you're playing all these games in a row. You know, like we're gonna have our first Christmas game this year. Like I think if you focus on trying to run it back right away, you lose a lot of like the cool stuff that comes with it. Like opening night, we're gonna get our rings. There's a lot of cool moments that we're gonna have in the year that I think everybody's looking forward to, and it's more about just how can we get better again, how can we improve and make the league adjust to us throughout the year. And then from there on, you know, you start getting into April, May, June, and you kind of just take it one game at a time. I've kind of moved on from the celebration just because of the hand surgery and stuff too.
How's it been dealing with that hurdle of it? Like in the midst of celebrating this championship, you kind of obviously had to rehab that and.
It sucks. I'm still pretty deep into it too, so it just gives me another challenge to like overcome and do. Gives me something to do this summer. I think the best thing too was when I had to sit out for like the 2 months where I really couldn't even do any on-court stuff. It kind of let me like settle down, let me like kind of enjoy the moment a little bit. I wasn't right back to working out right away, so in a sense it actually made me take some like good time that I needed to rest and kind of get my body right for obviously the season coming up.
And part of that recovery, I know you recreated some of Kobe's iconic moments. You did the free throw line with the pajamas. I know you recreated the T-shirt too with his like broken hand with the ring on it.
I mean, it's my favorite player. The reason that I started playing basketball. I always hold that near and dear because I didn't get the opportunity to meet him. So everybody trolling on Twitter, blah blah blah, that doesn't bother me at all. It was a really cool thing. Like I get to be in such rare air with, you know, like a legend and somebody that I look up to and obviously wish I could have met. So for me to be able to get the opportunity to, like you said, not everybody gets to completely tear their right hand, win a finals, and then, you know, go through the rehab process and in the same breath as Kobe to be able to shoot the free throws. Like, I cherish that. I think that's really cool. Same thing with the X-ray shirt. I have a ring. I'm 24, 23 when we won. Like, for me to be able to do that and have the same thing, I just thought it was like a cool tribute to that. Obviously, he means a lot for the sport.
And obviously with the Mamba mentality and just how Kobe approached the game, do you have like a moment that, not that you played like Kobe, but that you felt like you were channeling like that Mamba mentality on the court?
I don't think I've ever felt like Kobe. I think there's been times where I've been like really locked in. I mean, I have 40 in a finals game, so that's pretty cool. I think the coolest game where I felt like really like zoned in, locked in was that game 5 against the Timberwolves. I had a lot of big shots down the stretch that you could say made me feel that way.
What's up, everybody? It's Joe LaPuma from Complex. ComplexCon is right around the corner. We are back in Vegas. This year is going to be bigger and better. Over 300 brands, exclusive drops, 2 nights of headliners. Make sure you check out ComplexCon. Get those tickets, complexcon.com, October 25th and 26th. See you there.
I can't sit here with you and not talk about fashion. I know you talked about kind of shopping around New York a bit too.
Yeah.
Where does that love come from for you?
I don't know. Shout out to my parents I was always fly when I was younger. You know, they didn't have me in like anything crazy. From what I've seen.
I was going to say very humble.
From what I've seen. Hopefully my mom doesn't post anything or post any crazy photos of me when I was little. But I think that like when your parents kind of have that sense already, when you're younger, I think you like kind of inherit it without knowing, and then just, I don't know, like growing up, clothes were cool. It's just like one of those things, like you see your favorite players wearing it. Like I grew up in like a really cool era of like, I was born in 2001, so like you get like the baggy suits and stuff are still like a thing. Your favorite rappers are wearing it. It's like what you grow up watching, movies, like all that stuff I think had a little bit of it to do with it, and I thought it was cool. And then growing up, I just used to thrift. Like it was cheaper to get clothes at Goodwill and go to the Goodwill bins. And it's crazy because we were just talking about it at lunch. Like YouTube is kind of what started it too. Like I had a couple YouTubers that I would watch that would go into the Goodwill bins and find cool stuff, and that made me want to do it. And then from there, I just got my own sense of fashion, and people mess with it.
Always Fresh Apparel, all those guys. Were you watching them?
I was watching
YouTubers?
like Paul Cantu is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to watch his. I used to watch all his
I still
videos,
watch him.
for sure.
Shout out him. And when you're young, you think you're gonna get the same stuff that they're getting at the Goodwill bins. So
Right.
now I'm going there every day.
No, trust me, I did the same thing. He's probably also, shout out Paul Cantu. I'll give you a shout out too. He's probably the reason I started.
Yeah, like
thrifting, to be honest.
Yeah,
back in the day.
he's definitely one of the big reasons, especially like estate sales and stuff too. Like he was really doing that. Like, he really put me onto that. Obviously, I can't really just pop up to people's houses now, being who I am, but it is pretty cool to like. He still does YouTube as well, so it's dope to see how far he's came, and then obviously influenced a lot of people that you probably don't know about.
And then what comes with that, obviously, you've kind of been inserted by a lot of people into these best dressed in the league convos, and they, you know, compare you to different players today and look at your tunnel fits and break them down and all that. Do you feel like you're best dressed in the league? Do you pay attention to those types of convos at all?
Honestly, my first 2 years, I really cared. This past year, I feel like I'm pretty solidified as far as that goes. A big thing is like I don't ever try and comparison. That big quote is the thief of joy. It's more like I just enjoy doing stuff that brings me joy, and clothes happens to be one of those things.
The OKC Thunder, you guys, like, the whole locker room gets fresh for the games and stuff. So be honest, when you hit the locker room and you see everyone's fits, like, is there a little bit friendly competition there? Like, do you guys battle it out like for fun?
The competition is more when we go shop, because we shop together. So it's more like who can get to pieces first. That seems to be the more competition. Everything else, when you see somebody wearing, our team is so weird, bro. Like, we're a team of like almost like compliments, or we'll get on your fit. So it's not even like competition, like who had the best fit. It's just more like, did you come looking like a fool today, or like, did you look good? That's like the running joke with a lot of it. Or like, we'll try and like figure out where you got that from, or because like I said, we shop together. So it's like, hey, like you didn't get that when we were there. Where'd you get that? And we bounce ideas off of each other. But there's some friendly competition.
You ever gotten roasted in the locker room?
For sure, bro. I wore a hat helmet. Yeah, there's times everybody does. Shay got roasted for his peanut butter suit. It comes with it. Jay Will never dresses up. He's always in like a tech fleece and like his feet are out. Like that's just our team.
You guys trading pieces? You doing any of that or no?
I'm not gonna throw nobody under the bus.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll like swap for a day, or like especially if we're on the road, it's like, hey, I forgot a belt. Like you got a belt, and so that kind of thing. But I'm not gonna throw nobody under the bus with what we be doing.
The fashion thing, obviously, that's led to official partnerships. You work with Ekko. Can you talk about like how that kind of came together, where that came from?
You know what's crazy? It's the thrifting. I hate to like bring up other brands, but like this is just how it came about. Like FUBU and like all those old brands. Like I was wearing that. And it just so happened, like, I started wearing Ekko a ton. I was wearing Jeancos my rookie year, like, stuff that I thought was normal. People started to, like, vibe with. I didn't even realize they were that old. And then I just started wearing Ekko more and more, and then I think they were, like, messing with what I was wearing, and I was finding, like, a lot of, like, cool, like, old pieces that I don't even think they, like, really remembered. Honestly, just reached out. I was like, I'd love to work with you guys and do that, and they were really receptive to it. And then from there, it just kind of became what it is now, and that's where fashion is going to. It's getting older and older, and I think it's fun to like look at some of those archive pieces. And Ekko has such like a rich history of like, you look at a lot of like your favorite rappers. DMX is like a big one. You look back, all of them wearing Ekko and doing that whole thing, so it's really cool to be a part of that. And it's crazy because at first I was like very against when I got in the NBA of like doing my own clothes, and now that I'm here, it's been really a cool process.
Can we expect more this season? Some more Ekko, J-Dove?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We'll have some stuff. That's actually low-key why I'm out here, so. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then last thing, just on the NBA fashion, the on-court piece of that is obviously the sneakers. Mm-hmm. You broke out. We were just talking about them, the crazy Harden P's, the pinky and the brain.
Yeah, the pinkies, yeah. It's just a cartoon that I'd watched growing up. Honestly, bro, I get bored and I'll have like Adidas send me like mock-ups of shoes like all the time. Like just different colors that I think, and yeah, so I basically just sent them the pinky and the brain, and then from there I just was like, these are the colors I want, and then I just started trying different colors, and I started thinking about like, what would an AAU kid wear? Like, what would AAU me want to wear that would be bright and colorful? That's like the whole AAU scene, and that's the people that essentially are going to be wearing the shoe, and I just kind of came up with like the pinky and the brain thing. I think my first like NBA preseason game, I had like the pinky and the brain lunchbox with like the thermos in it. So like I had that whole idea, and I just kind of went off the bag I had, and then from there it was like the shoe kind of took life of its own, and it was a hit. Yeah, it's cool.
I was gonna say, I feel like the first game you wore them, they kind of took Twitter, they took the timeline by storm a little bit. People were calling them like the craziest PE they saw in a minute.
Yeah, and it's cool. I don't know if Adidas really like drops a bunch of like PEs. Also, too, like, shout out Harden allowing those to go to retail. Obviously, it's his shoe, so he controls a lot of that. So for him being receptive to that and, like, seeing what the environment wants to when he has his own shoe speaks volumes to him. So that was cool. But, yeah, they blew up more than I thought they would. So the retail thing ended up being, like, a secondary thing where it was like, oh, we might as well drop them. A lot of people really wanted them.
It all kind of ties together. The nostalgia, the thrifting, it's all like that kind of
because I thrifted the lunchbox. I went to San Jose Flea in Santa Clara. Like, I used to thrift out there a lot and do that whole thing. So that's where I got the bag, and then now it got to be a shoe.
So the last thing I wanted to hit on with you, I guess, is there anything else you want to say about Ekko, the season, fashion? Ooh.
Watch the games. Watch the games.